I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Okay. The first item on the agenda is approval of minutes. Do we have any minutes?
We do not have, we should have some minutes coming up at the next meeting.
Okay. Citizens' requests or concerns? Anybody?
My name is Ron Smith, 55 North Duke Street. I was wondering about the streets when they go start opening down at the end of North Duke and that intersection. Just kind of, I haven't heard an awful lot about it, so I'm asking.
Are you talking
where the road's closed?
The South Duke Street project?
Yeah, well, or the, north going to Frederick or anything there. Can any of that open up soon?
So I was out all afternoon actually with the contractor. They are going to be doing base paving tomorrow, top on Thursday, weather providing, with the equipment, all the other breakdowns. But so the paving should be done this week, for the exception of right at the corner of the Verizon pole that's going to take a while to move. We are planning on opening up just the section of Frederick Street for the parade. For the parade this week, so we can get all the traffic in, then all the traffic out, then it'll be closed. Once paving's done, we have a couple change orders we're getting pricing on right now. We have to move some retaining walls in the properties for site distance issues. We're getting that contract finished up now. Once they finish those setbacks on those walls, the contractor will come back in, then work on the rest of the concrete work, and then after that we'll get the full opening. Once we get the Frederick Street part of it finished, we're going to approach PennDOT, whether they leave us or not, and see if we can change the detour to leave West Frederick open. But ultimately that's going to be PennDOT's decision, not ours. They're both their roads.
Okay, number two is, you say you're streaming. What are you live streaming and how do you get on?
Well, we're live streaming you right now.
Yeah, right. That's your job is to behave. Right?
If you want to check out your performance, how do you do that?
I see my wife broke her hip last week, so we wanted to try to get your last meeting, but there was no way I got to get a hold of it.
Well, I think you have to get onto YouTube. And
Millersville Borough YouTube.
Okay.
The last meeting wasn't uploaded, if I'm not mistaken. I had problems.
There was an issue with the visuals
Yeah.
on that. There was some kind of strange setting.
But if she goes to YouTube right now, she can watch as it's going on right
Yeah,
now.
well, I went to the borough website and it didn't say go anywhere. So
It's better just to go to-
I couldn't find nothing, so that's my way.
There should be a link.
it's a work in progress, and we're getting there. It's a work in progress.
So I'm just asking, so I know.
Right, and you said you went on the website and there was
The Millersville Borough, yeah, I was trying to find out where you live stream, and there's nothing here saying.
do we have the capability of putting a link on the website?
I'm sure we can.
Okay, could we do that? Okay.
Good question about Duke Street.
Would anyone else like to, any members of the public want to address council? Then we
Can
are.
I just say something to Andy about that? Maybe just because it's like the number one question I get. Somebody's always sending me a message asking me what's going on with Duke Street. Maybe we could just put like a little notice up on a document, just to tell people it's going to be a while yet. Let's be honest, because it doesn't sound like anything's happening.
It's definitely going to be a couple weeks. The problem is until we get the price of the change order for those walls, I don't really know. And quite frankly, the last update I got from the contractor, I probably told a dozen people, and they didn't show up.
I'm not saying give them a date. I'm just saying tell them it's going to take a while.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll update.
You don't need to give them specifics, just so they know it's still weeks down the road.
Okay. Anybody else? Well, we're happy to welcome Lissa Holland, who is the director of the Lancaster Public Library, and she's going to give us a presentation this evening.
Very quickly.
Thank you, Lissa.
Did you all, did I leave one for everybody? Good. As you may know, on June 1st, we moved into our new home on Duke Street.
You know, Lissa,
Thrilled
it
with
might
it.
be wise if you use the podium, and then you could also include the audience in what you're saying. There you go. And there's a little microphone, I don't know if it works.
She's gonna take care
Yeah,
of it.
Lissa, here, keep it to the side, then you can encompass.
Oh, this way, okay. Perfect.
These are all possible contributors, you never want to forget that.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Thank you. So we always start our board meetings with our mission and vision statement. And the mission statement is that Lancaster Public Library inspires, empowers, and strengthens our community by connecting people with information, ideas, and enriching experiences. And when we as a staff begin thinking about new programming or new services, we go back to that. Lancaster Public Library serves 16% of your residents. The 16% are those who have a library card. Last year, Millersville residents borrowed over 22,000 pieces of material, which saved them over $400,000, and all of those services were free to them. In our new location, we are fully ADA accessible. We have parking, ample parking, being that we are anchoring the new Christian Street parking garage. We have a young adult library. For the first time, it is a dedicated area for our teens and our tweens. We have lockers so people can pick up holds 24/7. And we have an outdoor terrace, among just a few of the new things. But what's really important, and I know it's been a discussion for years here, is that we are a public library. We are not an academic library. And yes, you have Millersville Library blocks away, but a public library is very different. We have a business and reference center that can be used for free by residents starting up a new business. We have a sensory and autism resource center, and we have grown that to include a variety of different sensory disabilities. We have the Lancaster History Collection that no other library in the county has. We lend hotspots. We have e-resources so that patrons for free can download e-books, e-audiobooks, and stream music, movies, and more. We have programming for the very young, including infants. We have had infants as young as 3 weeks old this past summer come to our infant story time through adults. And we lend things like American Girl dolls, tabletop and lawn games, museum passes, musical instruments including a table harp and ukuleles, and baking pans. These are all things that differentiate a public library from a university academic library. As you will see on the next page, we have tripled some of our numbers this summer. By opening our doors, we have in a new location in the heart of Lancaster City, we have brought in new people. But the bottom line is always budget. Of our $1.6 million budget, we continually raise over 63%. The next page is what's very vital to know. That on average, across the country, the national local funding is almost $39 per capita. That's up from 36 and change just 2 years ago. However, local funding for Lancaster Public Library has dropped. Again, national average is almost $39. We are at $1.32 per capita. A huge difference. And that brings us to the comparison of 450 public libraries here in Lancaster County. Here in the state of Pennsylvania. Lancaster Public Library stands on its own. There are 14 independent libraries here in this county. So these are just the figures for Lancaster Public Library and its branch in Mountville. We have the 8th largest service area. We have the 18th largest catalog of materials. We have the 29th largest operating expenditure. But then, for local funding per capita, we are ranked 439 out of 450 libraries. Our materials, we go out to all the public libraries in the county. We have the largest and the most in-depth collection possible. And so our materials continually rotate. So even if your residents aren't going to Lancaster Public Library per se, they are probably using our materials. And that is why I am here tonight to ask for your support. I have 2 board members with me. Sean, you have less than 30 seconds to make the ask, please. Sean Smith is our treasurer of the board.
Thank you all for sharing your time with us here tonight. We really appreciate it. And we appreciate your generous contribution to the Lancaster Public Library of $2,500, which we received in 2021. This year, we are going to ask you to increase that to $2,861. That equates to approximately a 4.8% increase over the course of each of the intervening years. Given that we are, again, in about the 2nd percentile in the state of all public libraries in terms of per capita municipal funding, we would absolutely be overjoyed if you could help us bridge that gap. We feel like it is still a fairly modest amount, and yet it would really go a long way towards helping us to keep up with rising costs of literally everything, but mostly personnel. So thank you again for your time and your consideration.
I have a question, and I think you've already stated the answer to this question, but what percentage of Millersville residents actually use the library? I think there's a perception in Millersville that the library sits in Lancaster City, but your area encompasses Millersville, and you've done a great job of differentiating between a university library and a public library. But about what percent of our residents use your services?
All I can say is how many have a library card.
Okay, how many?
16% of the residents of Millersville
Okay.
have a library card. And we are assigned by the state our service area. So we encompass over 40% of the county. We have 14 different municipalities. We service the largest area by far. Most of the other libraries have 1, maybe 2 municipalities in them. We have 14.
And of course, we're interested in how you service our
Of course, of course.
60% of the people in Millersville have a library card. So
And they have the opportunity to go to either the downtown location or drive to Mountville. It's kind of both about equal distance.
thank you. Does anyone on council have any questions, or anyone in the audience?
I have a comment to make for them. My name is Mike Kaufel. I've lived on Craig Avenue since 1980. I have 2 daughters that graduated from Penn Manor. I buy hundreds of books from Manheim Township Library and the Lidditch Library to donate to the Penn Manor Library, where I taught for 33 years. It kind of wounds me that we don't have a public library here, but I think we should support the Lancaster Library. And I'm one of your card members there. So I'm wanted to get that out, that you provide a service for Millersville, and we have an academic library here, but not a public library, and they provide a service for us, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your support.
Kind words.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it.
The next is reports of boards, committees, and commission, and I don't see anyone from the Civil Service Commission, so I guess there will be no report unless Dave or Jeff have anything to add.
I can just give you a quick update from the conditional offer of employment on the two that are hopefully going to end up in the police academy. They've completed 2 of the 3 remaining tests. They have their psychological scheduled. That'll be the last of the 3. So I believe they'll pass their 3 conditional remaining things, and they'll soon be getting the rest of the process to sign agreements and get registered for the academy.
Okay, thank you. Now we're moving on to reports of council committees. The first is the Finance Advisory Committee, which has not met, but I'm going to rely heavily on Andy for number 1, the 2024 budget discussion. Andy, you want to give us some heads up?
Sure, well, just generally, right now I'm kind of researching to make sure I'm getting everything done in the right time. So what I'm looking at tentatively is I believe our draft audit is supposed to be here on Friday, which we need that. And those, knock on wood, we've had some issues there. So with that, I don't know that we can really get tight numbers together by the 24th. I'm not saying we can't, but I'm just saying that just for my sake, that I think if we go to the December 14th meeting to adopt, a proposed budget, would be then we do the advertising, we do the 10-day period for people to review it, and then that would bring us back to when we can actually adopt it, would be the 12th of December meeting. And I just wanted to make sure everybody was on board with that, or if we think we need to try to do it on the 24th. And then, so everybody knows, I will not be here for that 14th meeting, but I'll make sure everything's lined up before I leave. So that's kind of the time frame that I'm looking at this point.
And right now, I think we still have a public budget meeting scheduled for the evening of the 18th.
Yes.
And that's just the preliminary.
Yeah, that's when we can have more preliminary numbers in. We're still putting some numbers together.
Hopefully we'll have the audit by then.
That's the wild
Yeah,
part of
I
it.
sure hope so.
Yeah.
So with that, just as numbers are coming in, and I'll just use my highway budget because that's what I do best, without really doing any more things than we normally do, just everything is up. Fuel's up, electric's up, gas is up, everything's up, and even without that, I believe my budget's up like almost 6%. And with, I know the sewer is the same way. I know police is probably is pretty much maybe not quite as bad, or not across the board. Everything is up, so it's not looking real good as far as coming in with a balanced budget.
And if I may, for the past several years, we've held the line on taxes.
Yes.
I can't remember when we last had a tax increase. Can you?
I have to look.
Yeah, it's been several years. But it doesn't look good, as you said. Everything is up, and you get to a point where you can only put Band-Aids on equipment and things so many times, and after a while, you can't even get the parts for things, so.
Sure. And as everybody knows, even to get anything, I'm trying to order a microphone for 2 months, and I'm still having problems with it. It seems like everything you do is like that. But anyway, that's kind of where it sits at this point, and I was really more concerned about the dates that, to make sure that this all
That should be fine.
it gets done. Yeah, I looked it over from prior years and everything
Yes,
else,
that should
and I believe I just want to make sure council knows that. And if we can have solid numbers together by the 24th, we can bump everything up immediately, or that's fine as well. I just we're still, obviously Sue's still really working hard with the auditors, so to get that out of the way, and then we've been picking at the budget, but as fast as things are coming in, that's what we're doing, we're picking at it at this point, so that's really.
So there's no way, we have no MLF audit findings to even.
Well, yeah, that's different.
Yeah, no, that's different.
This is liquid fuels.
Yeah, I have that. That's next. I'll explain it. Yeah, if anybody have questions with the budget before I get on to the liquid fuels. So the liquid fuels audit came in, and we discussed this before a couple times, kind of just give you the brief notes of what happened. There is a finding, it was when, I don't even know if you were here, Sue, when it came, when the liquid fuels allocation came in, it's 192,000 something came in. I always get, notice of it that it came in. Lisa deposits it into the general fund. I don't even think you weren't here yet. So they weren't there yet. Lisa didn't know, I didn't know, but Jess would always move it from.
Adjusting in.
She would always transfer it over to the plug into the liquid fuels funds. So in January, when I do the actual use report, the MS 965 report, my numbers weren't matching. And I'm going through the numbers and they ain't matching. So I start going through all the banks, and the deposit never got there. So we scrambled to find out what happened, and it's sitting in the liquid fuels fund. So I called the municipal services rep and I said, listen, before you get even wound up about it, the money's still there. It was never spent. It was this, and then we transferred it in January. Of course, this audit doesn't say that because it only goes to December 31st. So this is the findings, the actual details in it, if you want to read it, are on page 12. And it basically just says that it was deposited, into the general fund, and then we later transferred it over. So next year, it'll look like we got a double allocation for liquid fuels, but we didn't. It was actually here.
I think you have explained that to me.
I just wanted, to go over
The thing
that.
to remember is, at the end of last year, that 192,000 was in the general fund.
Yes.
So I've asked Andy to reach out to the auditors to make sure they don't count that as general fund money.
Got it.
In the 2022
So,
audit.
and we
I
are,
don't think we have that to spend on anything.
Right.
absolutely, and we are working right now to get it where the allocation gets direct deposited right into the Pliget account. We did not do it yet, but we're working on that right now, so it can happen again. Is what, we told the auditors, and they were fine with it, and PennDOT was fine. I even said about, moving the interest on the money for the year, and PennDOT said, no, just transfer it, and we're good. So, anyway, that's where we're staying with that.
Great. And I'll do the next one.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. When I first read the next item, I got all excited because I thought that the police were asking to contribute less into their pension fund than what we negotiated for. But that, in fact, is not the case. Every year, council needs to prepare a resolution, which is already prepared and ready to go, that states that we are allowing our police to contribute a certain amount into their pension fund, less than 5%. There's a regulation that states that the police contribution is 5%. We have, in years past, had 0%, but at our last negotiation session with the police contract, it went from 1% to 1.5%, and I believe this year it's 2%. But because it's not 5%, we have to pass a resolution to state that fact. So I'm making a motion, obviously not out of committee, to pass a resolution reducing member contributions to 2% per our negotiated contract. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on that? Let's vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Linda, I think the first two items under Public Welfare and Public Works are Sue McCullough, and she's here. So, number one, Sue, tell us about the Veterans Day ceremony on November 10th. And I do think she put out Yeah,
everyone should
have their invitations, and
there,
there's some in the back.
inviting you to the ceremony.
We are working hard on getting everything organized for this. We have Mayor Achel as our master of ceremonies, and we have Chief Markovich, who will be giving remarks at the ceremony. Just a couple little things. We have invited our state representatives. So far, we have 2 attending. That changes a couple times now from till the time of the ceremony. Our main speaker this year will be a United States retired merchant marine who is 97 years old and will be our main speaker. And from what I hear, he does a really good job at 97, so I was a little concerned at first. We will again have the Red Rose Veterans Honor Guard. We will have the Penn Manor Jazz Band, Penn Manor Chorus, the Military Club of Penn Manor will be there. We have 5th grade students from Leetord Elementary School who will be making cards. We have a Girl Scout troop that are going to be making paper poppies to hand out. We have John Hurst Market to donate cookies, so there's always refreshments. We have Hurst Snacks who makes a donation. We have Millersville University that always helps us with our audio, with the chairs, and we greatly appreciate that. And we have Snyder's Funeral Home that comes with one of their golf carts to help people from the parking lot to whichever pavilion. And we have a lot of help from the employees. So I'd like you all to attend. If you've never been there, it's a really wonderful ceremony honoring our veterans.
Thank you, Sue. Does anyone have any questions for Sue?
Sue, just wanted to add, I think we have some forms up here
Yes.
to buy a brick.
If you want to buy bricks.
We have these bricks for sale, part of the patio at the memorial. And you can have 3 lines, as many as 3 lines, 15 spots per line to fill in your message, $50 for 1 or 2 lines, $75 for 3 lines. And you're not going to fill them out today and expect to see it this November.
Right.
But next November, we'd love to see. We only have 4 this year.
Yeah.
We would like to have more.
And just a little idea, one lady came in to buy a brick and she said she was buying it for her dad as a Christmas gift. So I thought that was kind of a special idea, so.
Okay. Moving along, and now, on a not so pleasant note.
Yeah, that was the good news.
That was the good news. So you want to give us the bad news about our trash contract extension?
Okay, we have been talking about this, and I think we've all been expecting Penn Waste's answer. But we did reach out as a borough to Penn Waste to extend our contract 1 year for next year for an annual fee of $157.13. And that calculation comes from Lancaster County Solid Waste off of the CPI. And that was a 4% increase. Okay, I heard back from Penn Waste. They would love to extend the contract next year, but they would like to propose a rate, an annual unit fee per unit of $183, which is a 21% increase from our current rate. They said their labor costs alone have increased 15%, and the CPI has not captured all the costs that these trash haulers are incurring. They did say that if we don't extend, they will go out to bid for our contract. And what we're seeing, I got 5 rates from people who did go out to bid. Everything is over $200 per
annual unit fee. It is now October. It is starting to get a little late to go out to bid. We started this process in July, and just like Andy was saying, everything takes so long. So our choice as a borough is to go out to bid. Issue with that, any haulers may already have their limit of municipalities for next year, or we could accept their extension price of $183.
And if we went to bid, it might be higher.
I would say pretty well, it's gonna be over $200. So, I did inform Penn Waste that if we do extend with them, I would like to have a meeting with them and Andy, so we could go over some of these issues that we are currently having, and if we are paying more, should not be having next year. So we will be doing that. I did discuss this with Lancaster County Solid Waste about the proposed price, and they said they were just happy to see that it's under $200. So, asking council tonight to make a motion and make a vote if you're ready to, and then we could proceed with next year's extension.
I think we need to.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to extend it
Maggie
for 1
has
year.
made a motion to extend it for 1 year.
I think, I actually was, believe it or not, pleasantly surprised to see it come in under 200. I didn't think it was going to.
Yeah.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, quick question. What about the tote thing?
Oh.
Did we even talk about that?
Yeah, we did. I told them we were interested in toter service as a second bid option, and they said we should wait till we go out to our next contract bid, because right now they are only looking at 2 option years from us, 2024, 2025, and with the capital investment, it is just too large to take on for only 2 years.
Well, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion carries. Thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
The next item, consider transferring $200,000 from the sewer operating fund to sewer capital reserve. You want to speak to that?
Actually, Les, you want to take that one?
This past year's budget, we did not put any monies in those funds because we weren't sure where we're going to end up with the rising costs. So after seeing 9 months of data and seeing things kind of equal out a little bit, I think we would be able to do $200,000 from O&M to capital for this year. I'm not talking next year, I'm talking this year. This 2003 budget, because it wasn't budgeted when we did the budget last year.
I guess my only comment would be is, can we wait till the 13? Can we wait till we see what our 2022 numbers look like? You know, I mean, I'm not opposed, I think it's a good idea.
I'm just saying, I think,
Yeah.
Maggie, that we have
Great.
funds that we can do that.
Yeah, I think you're probably.
I'm not asking anything to happen tonight, I'm just
Putting it out there.
putting it out there
Yeah.
before we get into budget time, and I agree wholeheartedly with you. I get to see the audit.
And I think as long as those numbers are good, it makes sense to try to squirrel a little, because you got some big projects coming down the road.
Right.
Okay. So we're going to wait.
Just till the 18th, till the next, I mean, even the next meeting should be fine.
Right, it's more of a, I
Heads up.
think we can do this,
Yep.
maybe I'll look at it.
Good.
Okay,
All right.
thank you. Personnel Committee is going to meet tomorrow. We have not met in September, but we do have, happily so, 2 Penn Manor High School student representatives. And we want to welcome you two tonight, and we're going to ask the mayor to swear them in.
I can do that. How are we doing, gentlemen?
Good, how are you?
First, we'll start out by, step up and confront, and let's introduce ourselves to our Borough Council and our citizens. You are?
I'm Max Wilson.
Maxon, and what grade are you in?
I'm in 11th grade.
And you, sir?
And I'm Adam Tawadi, and I'm a senior.
Well, we'll start with Maxon, since you're closer, so I'll let you repeat after me. Raise your right hand, repeat after me. As a Penn Manor High School student advisor
As a Penn Manor High School student advisor
to the Millersville Borough Council,
to the Millersville Borough Council,
I do solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey,
obey,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth,
and I will discharge
and I will discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Adam, repeat after me. As Penn Manor High School student advisor
Penn Manor High School student advisor
to the Millersville Borough
to
Council,
the Millersville Borough Council,
I do solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey,
obey,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United
the
States,
Constitution of this Commonwealth,
the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge the duties
and that I will discharge the duties
of my office with fidelity.
of my office with fidelity.
Congratulations,
Thank
gentlemen. For the next meeting, you can take home and play.
Okay,
So
thank
you're
you.
gonna say put it on the refrigerator.
Thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
The next item, I'll just give a little update on our borough manager search. We are going to have an executive session at the end of this meeting. We will not be voting coming out of executive session. We have narrowed down a list of, a pretty healthy list of candidates for borough manager to 3 finalists, and we have now had all 3 of them come in for second interviews. We're in the process of finalizing background checks and references and that sort of thing, and we hope to have a decision by October 24th, by the council meeting on October 24th. Are there any questions about that? Okay, then our representative, Andrew Greer, is not here tonight, but Dr. DeSantis is here, and he can give us some Millersville University report.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you this evening. First and foremost, let me thank my good friends Andy and Jeff for coming to our logistics luncheon for the parade last week. We had a parade committee and other logistics support people meet for a final time to go over all the planning and all of the public safety issues surrounding the parade. We went through the parade route. We went through all the public safety mitigation measures that we'll be putting in place this year. Thought it was a very productive conversation, and I thank them for their input. I think we are in good shape to have a parade, barring weather concerns, as you can imagine. We are all, including all of my parade committee support folks, we are watching the weather with great concern. The weather is of course predicted to have some level of precipitation. It changes by the hour. It truly does. But we are prepared to have the parade rain or shine, except in a condition where conditions become so unsafe that it would be cause for cancellation. So we are putting in all the right measures. Want to thank Andy's team particularly for the work that they're going to be putting in place. The days leading up to the parade with no parking signs and with all the barricades. Blue Rock is contributing a great deal of support, not only with their vehicles in providing public safety at the intersections, but also with the fire police team will be stationed at multiple locations providing extra support. So again, I feel like we're in a good position, and the parade committee thanks the borough for all of its outstanding support. I would add that that I'm going to put a different hat on now, if I may. This would be the Millersville Business Association. We had a very successful Saturday in the Park event last weekend. We had over 1,500 people at the event by our estimation. The biggest hits of the day, of course, were our friends from law enforcement and fire. They were able to welcome the kids and teach the kids a great deal, but the community relations aspect was absolutely extraordinary. The fire folks were there allowing the young people to literally aim the hoses and shoot the hoses at different props. And you know what? Those kids just got a kick out of that. So what a great community building event. We also had, because of course it was the Millersville Business Association, we had about 10 businesses from town that were there, that participated, that showed people their products and services, and had a variety of games to play and what have you. So I want to thank you, council, for allowing us to use the park and to use the facilities of the park, because apart from the bees, it was an absolutely extraordinary day. And the bees did not even thwart the good times that were had. So again, great event and a really nice way to celebrate our community. That is my report for this evening.
Thank you. That was an uplifting one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gentlemen, do you have a report for us?
We do.
Thank you.
I'll start first. My name's Adam Tawadi, like I said. I'm happy to be with you guys here tonight. Thank you all for welcoming me in. My grandmother lived here for a large majority of her life, and I've gone to Penn Manor a very long time, so it's an honor actually to be able to speak in front of you guys here. So Mr. Eby put us in charge here, and he just left us with a couple comments. Our first thing is that our building is officially 100% completed. It's 100% done. No construction, no working out of trailers, nothing's going on. It's completely finished. We have a bunch of new spaces that we can utilize now. The building's a lot bigger than it previously was. For example, we have an independent study accounting, which is we had a free block in our schedule, so we're eligible to take a class that's not being taken during that time. We have so much room in the building that we're able to take this class in a whole other space where there's no other kids. So that allows us to have an opportunity that typically we wouldn't be able to have. So that gives us more opportunity to take that into college and take that further. So the building is 100% completed, as I said. We have, finally the cafeteria was done. That was our big holdup at the end of last year. There was a couple issues with the cafeteria, but even the lunch prep station is completely done. And they've done a very good job with it. We sit outside there every single day. We comment on how tall the ceiling is because it's massive. It looks like a crazy, it's amazing actually. I ended up going to a private school downtown a couple of years ago during the construction, and I came back last year when they were finishing the construction. And when I had the new student orientation to come back, it looked like a college, like a small college. It looked so nice. So the building is completely finished, and if anyone's interested in taking a tour, you can contact Mr. Eby, and he's happy to set one up with you. His email to reach him at is just doug.eby@penmanor.net. Just reach out to him, and he's going to do a tour for you or your family or anyone that's willing to come. So thank you guys.
So, my name is Max Wilson, as y'all heard when I was over there. Thank you for, letting me swear and everything. Our next point we'll be talking about is last year we started talking about a dual enrollment opportunity that's free for all students, like juniors and seniors, at Millersville for business classes. And so far that has been going really good. I've heard a lot of positive things from my peers in that class. And I've heard a lot of people saying that next year they will be trying to take the class, and people saying that they will try to fit into their schedule next semester. I'm pretty sure this semester it's intro to business, and it doesn't only teach you about business, it teaches you about like an introduction to college. So like you can get like an example on how college will be like, and then next semester is marketing, and then the classes next year is like economics, entrepreneurship. But I think it's been a pretty good opportunity so far because, again, I said it's free for like all students that are juniors and seniors who have previously taken business classes at Penn Manor, and you get the college credits and everything.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for our representatives? Well, thank you both. The president was unable to be with us. I don't believe that we have any unfinished business.
Mary Ann, can I add one thing to that?
We forgot a borough manager on here.
Well, you can throw me in anywhere, actually. I just wanted to let everybody know that the Park Commission, we're finalizing the agreement for the park master plan, and they're going to be forming a committee for the master plan of the park. If anybody is interested, you can get a hold of me here at the office all day long, and I will pass on your information.
Will that be on the website also? I mean, people could look and say, oh, I want to volunteer for that.
Add it.
Yeah. As many people as possible would be great.
Sure.
Anything else for the good of the order? We are going to move into executive session. As I said, we're going to be having a personnel discussion. When we come out of executive session, we don't expect to conduct any business. So it's going to be one of these motion to adjourn when we come out. So if you have anything for the good of the order, state it now. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your evening. Sue, you can turn everything off. Sue McCullough and Ann